Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tatiana for those of you that are new, and welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. So today is going to be another nursing video. So for those of you that are new and not aware, I'm a NICU nurse. I'm actually in my first year of nursing. I graduated from nursing school of May 2019, and it'll be a year that I will have been working in July of 2020, so it's coming up. But yeah, so I'm a NICU nurse, and I just want to remind you guys that I'm praying for all of you. I hope that all of you are staying home and staying healthy. I actually have a good couple of days off from work right now. I'm home with my family, so I'm really, really happy to be able to be quarantining with my family and staying in and staying home. It's really nice because it is a little nerve-wracking going to work right now, but just want to remind you guys that this too shall pass and that all of you guys are in my thoughts and prayers, and I'm so glad that you guys are staying home and staying safe. And for all of you that have been diagnosed with COVID-19 or have family members or anything that have been diagnosed, I'm praying for you as well for a speedy recovery, and all of you are in my thoughts and prayers. But today's video, I wanted to go over around 12 things that I wish I knew before I went to nursing school or started nursing, I guess. I think it's more nursing school themed. But yeah, so let's get right into this video. So number one for me is I wish I knew how hard the first semester was going to be. So for me, I actually was in the accelerated program, so it was a lot faster than traditional. It's only 4 semesters and you go straight through, so it's 15 or 16 months. We started in January and we ended the next May. So the first semester for us was the hardest because we were taking the max amount of hours that we could take, which I think was like 18, and then we were taking pharmacology and patho at the same time, and it was pretty rough. Pharmacology was my hardest class, I'm gonna say, for me in nursing school, because especially being an accelerated program, because you went so fast, and it's like I feel like I didn't really remember a lot of the stuff because I had to like empty my brain to make room for the next test, because you were tested on like 150 drugs like each test, and you had to know like side effects, you had to know brand name, generic name, you had to know some of the drugs, you had to know like a little bit of how they worked in the body. So that was a pretty tough class for me. I did end up getting an A in it, but it was a very, very hard A to get. There are a lot of classes in nursing school that aren't easy, like even just like our OB and peds class was a little tough, which I feel like was kind of surprising to some people. I feel like that class for at least in my program was a little tough, and also even like psychology was a little tough for me. So but I think the first semester was the hardest just because you were taking so many hard classes and so many classes at once that it was like a little overwhelming. But once you got past the first semester, at least in my opinion, it was a lot easier. Like it wasn't as hard as the first semester was. So now on to number 2. I wish I had known just how time consuming it really is. And again, this is just from being in the accelerated program. I'm not sure how it is in the traditional program, but it is very time consuming. Some people did still work because I'm not going to say it was the hardest program I've ever done in my life. I just think that the first semester was the hardest, but it's definitely doable to still have a job and do the accelerated program, which a lot of my nursing classmates did. I didn't. I just did straight school, but he spent so much time studying, doing tests, doing quizzes, work, and then especially once you get to senior practicum, your last semester of nursing school, you actually do whole 12-hour shifts. You have to do a certain number of 12-hour shifts or 8-hour shifts in that semester before you graduate. So, and you still have classes on top of that. So it was very time consuming. So I know, like I knew that going in that it was going to be time consuming and it wasn't going to be an easy program, but I still don't think I was prepared just for how much time it was going to take up of my life. I didn't really have a lot of time to do anything else. So the third thing that I wish I knew before going to nursing school or starting nursing was that it's actually a lot harder to get hired in an area that you really want. So again, these are just my experiences, but especially areas like the area that I work in, the NICU or like the ICUs or the EDs, a lot of them won't even look your direction unless you have experience or you had your senior practicum in that area. And then the school that I went to, it kind of sucks. A lot of us didn't get the senior practicum areas that we really wanted. Like they maybe had 1 NICU spot and they only had maybe like 1 or 2 L&D spots, or maybe like 4 ICU spots or 5 ICU spots for all of like 75 students that they're trying to get into these spots, because with senior practicum, it's not only accelerated students, but it's also traditional students at your school who are in their last semester, as well as the senior students at every other nursing school in Georgia, because there were like Chamberlain students and schools from farther out going to these same hospitals that we were trying to get into senior practicum. So there weren't that many spots available for the areas that we really wanted for senior practicum. But come like interview time and trying to get jobs, a lot of the areas, especially like ICU, NICU, and kind of ED, I'm not sure how stringent they were, but a lot of them would not even accept your application if you didn't have any experience in that area at all, whether it was being an intern, being a CNA in that area, or having a senior practicum in that area. So even though it's not impossible, it is a lot harder to get hired in an area that you really want. So a lot of people kind of settle for something else for their first year of nursing just to get like experience, and then they try to go back and transfer to the units that they really wanted to work in after, which there's no problem with that, because not everybody's going to get the unit that they really want the first time around. But so a lot of people ended up having to do that. So number 4 is that a lot of people are just as inexperienced and nervous as you are. So there were a lot of people in my nursing program who were CNAs, who were techs, and who were interns, who were experienced. But there were also a lot of us like me who had never done anything really nursing related. Like I did get CNA certified right before going to nursing school, so I did have like a little experience, but I wasn't really comfortable performing like the skills and the checkouts that we had to do, because there were some people in our class like who had been interning in the NICU for like a year already, so they knew how to do a lot of the stuff that a lot of us didn't know. And because I was in an accelerated program, my school didn't require it, but a lot of people already had degrees, so a lot of them were also older and had families and things like that. So but yeah, so it was kind of like comforting to know that a lot of people were learning the same stuff that I was learning at the same time. Like not everybody goes into nursing school already knowing how to do a blood pressure, already knowing how to like insert a urine catheter, or like knowing how to do IV sticks and stuff like that. So not everybody goes in knowing the same things, even though there are people who do know how to do things that you don't know how to do. There are people who are, like for me at least, there were people who were still learning. Everything was brand new to them, just like it was brand new to me. So that was pretty comforting. Number 5 is that a lot of people see it as a competition and they kind of hate on you behind your back. So a lot of people in nursing school are very competitive and jealous. Even though we all, because there's a nursing shortage, so even though like I said, it may not be in the exact area that you wanted, everybody's going to get a job, as long as everybody's pretty much going to get a job as long as you didn't like fail out or anything, or you have like pretty good grades and you have pretty good interview skills. Everybody's going to get a job. There's a nursing shortage. But a lot of the people in our school are catty, even though not everyone. I had like a little group of friends that we were really supportive of each other, and we really wanted each other to get the jobs that we all wanted. But like when I started getting interviews in NICU and I got my job offers, I heard that there were like people talking behind my back saying like, how did she get that? Like she didn't even work in a NICU before, or how did she, like they were kind of like jealous, like she didn't deserve that. Like, are you serious? Like Tatiana got that job interview or got that job just because they weren't getting, I guess those interviews or weren't getting the jobs that they wanted as at that time, even though I think they did end up getting the areas that they wanted. But you just kind of have to let it like just bounce off you and not really pay attention to that, because what God has for you is for you, and nobody can take that away from you. If it's meant for you and God has that position set for you, it's meant for you. But just something to be aware of, like before you go in, not everybody's your friend in nursing school. Some people might smile in your face and talk about you behind your back, but honestly it's whatever, because I was there to get my license, which I did, and I was there to get my degree and get a job, which I did. I wasn't there to make friends, but I did end up making a couple of friends that were really cool in my nursing program. Just remember that everybody's not your friend. The 6th thing I wish that I knew before going to nursing school or nursing is just how unglamorous it really is. So even in nursing school, like I feel like even in nursing school they make it seem like nursing is just like butterflies and rainbows and like the best job ever. And don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy working in the NICU, but I feel like if I was working in any other area in nursing, I would not still be a nurse. Like I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I do now working in the NICU, like I really enjoy the NICU, and I feel like a lot of people glamorize it. Like, it's not Grey's Anatomy, it's not Nurse Jackie, it's not any of the medical shows that you see on TV. Like, it's, especially in the adult world, it's hard work. It's body fluids and nasty smells and wiping patients and patients who like are addicted to pain medication and calling you every 15 minutes asking for the next dose, and it's not glamorous at all. So it's important to know that before going in, and to make sure that nursing is something that you really want to do. Like, shadow people, be a CNA, go into different areas, find just make sure that it's something that you want to do, because it is not, like I said, it's not rainbows and butterflies. It's not strawberry scented like heaven. No, like sometimes it stinks, sometimes it's nasty, sometimes you have to suction, and it's nasty. So it's not glamorous at all. So that's just one of the things that I wish I knew before going to nursing. Like, I feel like a lot of people say nursing is hard work, and it is. Like, I don't mind working hard, but I feel like a lot of people didn't mention like a lot of the stuff that is just not glamorous. Like I said, like having to literally wipe like 60-year-old like women's butts, and talk about like the nasty stuff, talk about like, I don't know, just it's just not as glamorous as a lot of people make it out to be in nursing school, or before you get to nursing school. The seventh thing that I wish I knew before going into nursing school or nursing is that you may doubt if nursing is for you. And I feel like it's a normal thing, especially in med surg or a lot of the adult world. I feel like it's normal to doubt if the career that you've chosen is actually for you. But yeah, so it's just, I wish I would have known that it's normal to doubt yourself. But especially like after you get out of nursing school, the more you get comfortable and the more you work and the more you kind of like find your groove, the more, like I said, well, the more comfortable you get, I guess. Some days will make you question if it's like really what you want to do, but I feel like there's no job really in the world that you're going to go in every day, like not, or that you're never going to question if this job is really for you. But yeah, so that's number 7. Number 8 that I have written down is that in nursing school, C's do not get degrees. So in nursing school, every nursing school is different, but a lot of nursing schools have a lowest score that you have to obtain to pass. And for my school, it was a 74. So technically C's get degrees, but I know for a lot of nursing schools it's an 80. Like, you cannot get below an 80 as your test average, or you do not pass. So let's say even if in my school, let's say you get a 95 on your first test, but you bomb the next test and get like a 40 or 50 on it, and your average comes out to be like a 73, you failed the class. Like, they don't even add in any of the extra stuff. They don't add in your homework, they don't add in like class worksheets, they don't add in attendance or anything on top of that if your test average is not above that 74, or in other schools if your test average is not above that 80. So nursing school, like, you can't skate past with just like 71s and 72s. You have to have, in my school, it's above a 74, but in other schools it was above an 80. Like, you have to keep your grades up. C's do not always get degrees in the world of nursing. So that's another thing that makes nursing school hard, because they aren't easy classes. And like I said, my first semester we were taking so many hard classes at once. They don't care, they don't round. They didn't round in my nursing school, they didn't do any of that. So your test average was just, it was raw, and it had to be above that certain number to pass. And in other schools it was even higher, it was an 80. So just keep that in mind before going into nursing school. The ninth thing that I want to mention of things that I wish I knew before going to nursing is that nurses really do eat their young. I feel like I heard that so much in nursing school, that as like a culture of nursing that they were trying to change, that nurses eat their young. And I had never heard that before really going into nursing school, but it is something that is true. I feel like it's not as bad as it used to be, but there are a lot of nurses who still are pretty mean to new nurses. It's not really so much, like, I really don't experience that in the NICU really. I wouldn't say it's like nurses eating their young. I just feel like there's a lot of nurses there who have strong personalities, especially a lot of older nurses who are set in their ways and can be like a little catty and childish at times. But I wouldn't say that they like eat their young, but it is something that you'll even see in nursing school. Even if it doesn't happen to you directly, sometimes you'll just see it from like watching other nurses and things like that. So even though it is not as prevalent now, like nurses eating their young, it is something that you still may experience, or you still may see coming into nursing school, or coming into like being a nurse. So the 10th thing that I have written down is that nursing school doesn't really prepare you for the world of nursing. So a lot of the stuff that I learned in nursing school, I do not remember at all. Like literally, I have no clue half the stuff that I learned in my classes and took tests on. But a lot of it didn't really prepare me anyway for actually being on the floor and being by myself and really caring for patients, especially being in the NICU, because you have that one class of OB and Peds where you talk about NICU related things, but you still don't even have like a designated class to just babies, like newborn babies, premature babies. You don't. So I basically had to relearn everything coming into my unit and learn, like even sticks, like learning how to stick an IV in a baby, learning lab values for a baby, learning like different diseases and like different things that can, like processes that can happen like for a baby, like learning about like Brady's and like sat parameters, and like learning just like how to turn a baby, like learning like IVH and things like that. Like there's just so much that I did not learn in nursing school that or basically it just didn't prepare me for the real world, like working in the NICU. And also I feel like even in the adult world, like learning something in a book and then actually going out and experiencing that and being with the patient and doing that on the floor, it's two completely different things. So yeah, so that's just something to remember, that nursing school does not really prepare you for the real world of nursing. It's two completely different things. So the 11th thing that I wish that I knew before going to nursing school is how intense it really is. Because I know, like I said before, I knew nursing school is tough. Like it's not an easy program. Not everybody gets in. Not everybody makes it. But like the level of expectation from your professors, from your clinical instructors, from everybody is very, very high. So even if you get in, just don't think like it's going to be the same as your prereq classes. They're going to hold you to a higher standard, which is not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing. But just know that like your instructors and your teachers and everybody in the nursing program is going to hold you to a whole nother like standard, a higher standard than what you were previously used to. Like I know some classes in college do take attendance, but like half of or really like 90% of my teachers honestly did not care. Like you could really just like coast by and still get A's, but not in nursing school, at least not in the nursing school that I went to. Even though, like I said, it wasn't the hardest program ever, it was just held to a higher standard than just like my prereq classes or my regular classes. So yeah, so that's just something to consider. And then the 12th thing that I have that I wish I knew before going into nursing school or going to nursing is just how important it is to find your niche or find where you're really happy. Because like I said, if I was in any other area of nursing, I would not be a nurse here today. I would not be making this video. I would not be talking about nursing, because med-surg is not for me. ED is not for me. I thought that ICU may have been for me, and granted I've never worked in an ICU, so I'm still not sure, but I think I found my niche in the NICU, because I actually do enjoy working in the NICU. And there is a lot of bedside, like bedside nursing is hard. A lot of nurses do not do bedside anymore, and I think that's why there's also a shortage, because nurses literally come out of nursing school, do bedside for like 1, 2, 3, 4 years maybe max, and then go back to school and get out of bedside, because bedside is just, it's not where it's at these days. So especially if you're going to be a bedside nurse, it is very important to find your niche and find what makes you happy, so that you're not miserable going to work every day and that you do not get burnt out, because nursing is one of the top jobs for job dissatisfaction. Like nurses just in general are not happy people, and I think a lot of it is because a lot of nurses are kind of like stuck in a niche where they are not happy and they do not really enjoy the work that they're doing. So it is very, very important to find your niche in nursing. And you may not find it in nursing school because you don't get to experience everything. Like there's so many options in nursing. So like you're gonna experience med surg in nursing school. You're gonna maybe get to see some of the ICU, some of the EDs, maybe like the NICU, and you get to see like L&D floors and things like that. But there are so many other things outside of hospital nursing. Like there is aesthetic nursing, and there's like nurse lawyers, nurses involved in like politics. There's nurses who do like medical supply sales and stuff like that. Like there's a nurse literally for everything, school nurses. So just even if you don't like find what you want to do in nursing school, just know that there's so many options and that you can really explore and find those things later, because there's so many options for nurses. It's just really important, like if you try one thing and you don't like it, to try something else. Like why not? It's really important to find your niche, because in this short life that we live, I feel like especially with everything going on right now, I feel like now more than ever is a time to see like how short life really is and how much we should really appreciate everything that we do, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Life is not guaranteed, so you should be happy going to work. So it is really important to find your niche. What I have written down for things that I wish I knew before going into nursing school is that you can do it. It's not easy, it's not glamorous, it's not Grey's Anatomy, but it is a good option. Like going on with things going on right now with a lot of people losing their jobs, it is a good option to have. It's kind of like a recession-free job, if you will. Like I still have a job to go to. I still have a steady paycheck, which is really nice. And like I said, there's so many options in nursing. Like there's a lot of nurses working from home right now because of the niche that they're in nursing. So nursing school is not easy. Nursing is not easy. It's not glamorous, but it's definitely something that you can do, and it's definitely a fulfilling job. Like with the work that I'm doing right now in the NICU, I feel like I am really touching people's lives, and I feel like I am really making a difference, which is really important to me. So if I ever get tired of being bedside in the NICU, then I'm gonna go explore something else. But you can do it, guys. You can do it. If you want to be a nurse, do not let anybody stop you. Do not let any of the negativity stop you. Even if you like fail a class, okay, get back up, dust yourself off, and take that class again. You can do it. It's hard, it's not easy, but you can do it. So that is all that I have for you guys, for the things that I wish I knew before going into nursing school or just nursing in general. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and please be on the lookout for more nursing and non-nursing related videos, because I have a lot more coming out for you guys. And please do not forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.